Misty was the first person I saw tweet about. Her tweet was super viral when she called out AOC for helping with military recruitment, and now all pretense of her being a leftist is gone. At this point, AOC knows the people who are still on board, they're gonna stay on board. So she might well go full shit lib now. And I told you guys a while ago that people are gonna look at AOC like 15 years from now, and they're gonna be like, man, I can't believe people consider her a progressive. Just like the same way that people look back at Pelosi's in the 90s and they're like, man, people can't believe that Pelosi was considered a progressive back in the day for standing for gay rights, being for single-payer health care, et cetera, et cetera. And that was considered very progressive in the 80s and 90s. And then she obviously abandoned single-payer health care. She always was a corporate hawk, but that's when she really doubled down. That's going to be AOC in a few years. This is you see Comrade Misty, her comments. This is our friend of the show, honorary RBN member Misty. AOC is holding a military recruitment event. Fucking vow. And I said anyone who still defends AOC at this point is sus. And we all know who I'm talking about. I don't have to name names and these kind of things, but anyone knows what we're talking about. And that's why we generally adversarial to these people. Not they're just dummies doing bad things. No, they are purposely propagandizing the working class so people can continue to fall for the AOC grift, the Bernie Sanders grift. Some person corrected me today. I don't mind. He was like, you keep saying Bernie Sanders stole $200 million from the working class. You know it's more like $400 million, right? I was like, yeah. Yeah. And then they also say if you also consider the rest of the politicians who are donated to because of the Bernie movement, who sold out later, like Jamal Bowman, Cory Bush, God knows what that number really is. So the $200 million is devastating enough, but even the low ball shows how bad of an idea this was for the working class. But meanwhile, there's a giant part of the boutique left media apparatus that is still trying to convince people this is a good idea. RBN says no, okay? We're not here to be friendly with those people. We're here to aggressively prove them wrong. Sorry, CJ, go ahead. You can continue. That's my rant.
No, perfect. And that lands perfect now I'm going to scroll down because some people may not have seen it. I know you and I have seen it. Some people may be in the chat. But a lot of people have not seen it. So this is sort of breaking for them. Now I'm going to show you, this came from AOC, it looks like. Yeah, this particular graphic came from AOC. And then I'm going to show you another one with the person she's doing this with, how his looks. So this says, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and you see representing New York's 14th district, join Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and Adriano, I think that's how you say it, Explanat at the Student Service Fair. Representative AOC and Adriano are hosting a student service fair to help students connect with the U.S. Department of Education. Our U.S. service academics, internships, opportunities, and more. And then they give the date, and so that's tomorrow, from 4 to 6. I'm assuming it's Eastern.
And then it joined by special guest. Sorry, CJ, I just got a little head. We will be joined by special guests from the U.S. Naval Academy.
Oh God!
The U.S. Air Force Academy, the U.S. Military Academy, special guests. Because what AOC is doing, she's bringing poor, disenfranchised people to the military. You know, the people that the military pray at the most? This is so disgusting. So it's not like, well, it will still be bad, but it's not like Joe Manchin is doing an event getting white suburban kids out to these military industrial contract people. They're purposely using AOC to bait poor people to a military event. And AOC like, I'm down. I'm down for that. This is unbelievable. But go ahead, CJ.
It's terrible. And it's at Renaissance High School auditorium. Now, is there any New Yorkers, anybody from the Bronx listening right now? If you know this high school, please tell us the demographics. I mean, we can assume it's the Bronx. We can kind of assume, but let us know what you think about the demographics, the breakdown over there. So You have a semi-celebrity, because understand that's how politics is looked at. And AOC is one of the biggest celebrities. When she went to the Met Gala, remember? Remember that? And she's been on the Jimmy Kimmel show. So she's somewhat of a celebrity. So you have these young people, Nick, who aren't as into politics. Think about when I was in high school. I wasn't thinking about this stuff. I knew hovering around what politics were. Like, oh, this person's supposedly good, that person. So they think AOC, oh, she's here supporting this thing about signing up for these military agencies. And let me read it again. I know you read it. We will be joined by special guests from the U.S. Naval Academy, the U.S. Air Force Academy, the U.S. Military Academy, the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, the U.S. Department of Education, former interns, and last year's winner of the Congressional App Challenge. Just completely despicable. Now, let's go to some other reactions that I have here. Go ahead.
But I've been putting some comments up. Our community been putting some bangers up. Our friend Colin was explaining how...
let me go back if there was there. Let me go back if there was there.
No, I was talking about on the screen. I put it up on the screen in our chat.
Go.
Colin said, you would never see this in a rich neighborhood, which is like what I was saying. This person said, let's talk about why recruiting. It's about AOC. Well, sorry, it's about troops level are less than 300,000. No people of color are joined to the point where they won't mention it. That's the real story. That's why they bring these military recruitment events, because people of color are like, man, we ain't signed up to fight for this imperialist machine. Young people are more woke than ever, which I'm saying that's a good thing, right? Young people are more woke to what the empire machine is doing than ever. So we're not going to sign up so we can fight some war in Africa. They are struggling with recruitment. People of color is definitely more so. So great comments. A lot of great comments I see in the chat. Keep it up, guys.
Yeah, and just showing, I mean, we saw it already, but Comrade Misty's comment about it. I just want to go to a couple of them. AOC is holding military.
Yeah, click on her thread and go down, because
she got 4,500 likes on this.
Yeah, people
so
are seeing the grip to AOC, guys. This shit is being exposed, and the only people who are concealing this at this point are the NATO left. The progressive media apparatus, the Bernie industrial complex, is trying to hide what everyone sees with AOC. And that's why when you scroll down this thread, because I saw this thread pretty early, I'll make sure I retweeted it. Because Misty did a good job, because she was the first one I saw that kind of broke this on Twitter.
I caught this, she caught this,
Like she was like the earliest one, so you can see all the. This is Misty. Like, that's a great comeback. I saw that earlier. Where he said you shouldn't have to sign up to be a terrorist to get an education.
Oh, so let's read it so that people understand. So let's read what she's responding to here. It says, "I'm not a fan of the squad. I'm anti-capitalist, anti-duopoly. I'm also a vet." Let's see if the words. Now I haven't read this. Let's see if the words pan out. If this person's really these two parts right here, Nick. If there were enlisted recruitment, I'd agree it's vile, but these are representatives of the service academies. It's still vile to trade education for services, but it's factually a damn good education.
So to give benefit of the doubt to Steve, I think this is just Steve being too weak on the system. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he sides with the system, but he's saying like, oh, I don't think that big of a deal. Misty replies like, no, this is a fucking big deal. So I don't want to call Steve out. I don't think he's trying. I don't think this is him just being probably miseducated. Like, understanding how like this is predatory when you have the military show up to poor neighborhoods where a lot of people have no way out. They have no upward mobility like we don't have in this country. And then to promise them all these things that always end up to being lies. This is why, as leftists and anti-imperialists, we should always call it out, even if it's a quote-unquote good education, because what Misty said in the response was, it doesn't matter if it's good education. We should never, ever, ever put military as a trade-off for education. That shit should be free, period. So once again, Steve is not being evil there.
Yeah.
You got to be reminded, like, this, we should have no tolerance for this shit, period.
But to his point, but not really to his point, but the point that he brings up, think about that. Think about what paywall there is preventing a good education. He's saying that's a damn good education. Why is the paywall enlisting into the military?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So that's the point. But let's look at a couple of other responses, because I want to get to this next post that she has. But before we get that, let's see what she's responding to here. What? No way. What the F is wrong with her? Not much surprises me anymore, but I am having a hard time believing this is real. If it is, should be turned into an anti-war rally. If it is, it should be turned. So they're saying that, and she's saying it's real.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Imagine, you see what you
that
said
would be
there?
fun.
Imagine outside the event, there's an anti-war rally there. That should be fire. That's a great idea. That tweet deserves way more likes than it got. I didn't see that one earlier, but that's a great idea.
And Misty, this will be the last tweet I showed. Misty posts the other guy. Now, this is what I was going to show you. So this is the person that AOC is having the event with. This rep is the other rep. Join me and AOC for our student service fair on the 20th, 4 to 6 at the Bronx Renaissance High School. As summer fast approach, learn more about all the valuable resources available to students through our district office. And then this is the other flyer that I was going to show you, Nick. Now I'm showing you the full version, and now let me show you list by list. Hosted by Representative Alexandria Cortez. This is called the headliner here. Now, I used to run clubs. This is like me putting on, Migos on the flyer. Like, come out Thursday featuring Migos. That person I'm putting their name on is to draw a specific crowd. You get what I'm saying? So she is being used, to your point earlier, specifically to draw out young people that may look at her as a celebrity. And what's disgusting is that they're having it on high school grounds. And this is the actual flyer, Nick. And again, it listing U.S. Naval Academy, Air Force, all of these. And it actually has her picture on this one, Nick. See that? QR code also. This is what our...
this is so crazy.
This is what our progressive Democrat establishment narrative has grasped onto. Think about it. We have AOC trying to funnel Black and brown and indigenous poor kids to military-industrial complex. She's voting to break strikes. You got Jamal Bowman and Katie, I forget her name, from California, who's talking about Netanyahu and visiting Israel and voting for Iron Domes. Like, I don't understand what has to happen, Nick, for the boutique left to say, you know what? You have gone too far, AOC. Like, what is that line? Like, it's just
what the surf
crazy.
Was it the surf or the Humanist Report? It really doesn't matter. They're the same fucking person. But it was like, AOC didn't do anything to personally offend me yet. Remember?
Oh, that was Mike. That was Mike. I think that was Mike. Yeah, I think that was Mike.
When they said that, remember, my response was like, what? If they don't do anything to offend you at this point, you have no principles. It's just that simple. That's why I have no mercy. I have no love. I don't consider these people my comrades, because they have no principles. They have no revolutionary potential. And I'm talking about the people who actively do PR. This is why AOC, Cori Bush, and these people are able to sell out so easily, because they know they have this giant wall. They have this firewall known as the Bernie Media Industrial Complex that will shield them, not only by continuously to defend them religiously, but another important part of their goal is to lie by omission, manufacture consent. So you're not going to see David Doe, the Surge. They're not going to cover this. I promise you, boo-boo. The Rational National is not going to cover this, right? So it's not only that they praise them nonstop, they manufacture consent by not covering negative stories, and then they'll do a story like, you see Bernie Sanders went on Fox News and slayed. That was Kyle and David Doe was doing recently, because Bernie had an appearance on Fox News. They'll do nothing but cover good shit and ignore all the bad shit that we cover all the time. That get us called toxic because we dare to hold politicians accountable, right? We had none of it. That's why we call it out, the Bernie Industrial Complex. And RBN, we are part of the post-duopoly left, and we are adversarial to the duopoly, and the duopoly includes who? The NATO left, the progressive left, the people that say, "Oh, I can't tell people to vote for third party because that'd be irresponsible." My platform.
How can you talk if you build your income on AOC good, progressive good, Bernie said good? How can you now turn around and tell that same audience that they're bad, and you still make the most same money? Like, I'm not sure that's a possible. I'm not sure that they haven't, at least to this point, found a way how to thread that needle. I'm not sure there's a way to do that.